A Windjammers Motorcycle Club really worked. Welcome back to the Stuff You Should Think About, the podcast where we take everyday questions, unusual history, and fascinating topics and break them down into bite-sized episodes. Okay, so today we're talking about the Windjammers Motorcycle Club. If you spend any time around motorcycles, especially in the Midwest, you probably heard the name. Depending on who you ask, you'll hear stories ranging from they were just a motorcycle club to they were one of the toughest biker organizations around. So, what was the Windjammers Motorcycle Club and how did it actually work? To answer that, we first need to understand what a motorcycle club is. A motorcycle club isn't simply a group of people who enjoy riding together. Many clubs have a formal structure, rules, traditions, and expectations. Members often wear patches, attend regular meetings, organize rides, and build a strong sense of loyalty to one another. The Windjammers were no different. The club traces its roots back to Michigan and eventually expanded in other areas. Like many clubs of the era, they developed chapters, allowing members in different cities to operate under the same club identity while following the same traditions. Each chapter had leadership. Typically, there was a president who oversaw the chapter, a vice president who stepped in when needed, a secretary who handled records, and a treasurer responsible for club finances. There was often a road captain who planned rides and made sure everyone traveled safely and in formation. Those positions weren't just honorary titles. Running a club took organization. Someone had to coordinate events, collect clues, communicate with other chapters, and settle disagreements. Membership wasn't automatic. Most clubs expect prospective members to spend time around the organization before becoming full members. This gave both the club and the individual a chance to decide whether they were a good fit. That probationary period served a purpose. The club wanted to know if someone was dependable, respectful, and willing to contribute, not just someone looking for a leather vest and a patch. Once accepted, members represented more than themselves. Wearing the club's colors meant your actions reflected on everyone else. Whether riding on the highway or attending an event, members were expected to respect the club's rules. One of the biggest parts of a motorcycle club culture was brotherhood. People often joined because they found a community. Members helped each other with motorcycle repairs, organized charity rides, celebrated milestones, and supported one another during difficult times. For many riders, the motorcycle was only part of the experience. The friendship lasted much longer than any single ride. Of course, motorcycle clubs have often been misunderstood. Movies and television usually focus on violence, crime, and conflict because that's what attracts viewers. While some outlaw motorcycle clubs have been involved in criminal activity, many motorcycle clubs simply exist to enjoy riding and spending time together. The Windjammers developed a reputation over the years that mixed fact with legend. As with many long-standing clubs, stories grew larger every time they were told. Some accounts were based on real events, while others became exaggerated through rumors and popular culture. Separating those stories from documented history isn't always easy. One thing that made clubs like the Windjammers unique was their identity. Members often invested significant time and money into their motorcycles. They wore matching patches, attended regional gatherings, and participated in club traditions that strengthened their sense of belonging. If you ever wondered why members protect their patches so seriously, it's because those patches represent much more than a logo. They symbolize years of commitment, shared experiences, friendships, and trust. To outsiders, it's just embroidery. To a member, it represents a promise. Motorcycle clubs also develop their own unwritten etiquette. For example, riders often traveled in staggered formations to improve safety. The road captain determined the route, fuel stops, and pace of the ride. Experienced riders frequently looked after newer members, helping them improve their riding skills. Discipline mattered. One rider making reckless decisions could put an entire group at risk. That's why many clubs emphasized responsibility just as much as freedom. Perhaps that's the biggest misconception about motorcycle clubs. People often imagine complete independence with no rules. In reality, belonging to a club usually meant accepting more responsibility, not less. You were expected to show up, support fellow members, respect club decisions, and contribute to the organization. Like any close-knit community, loyalty went both ways. Today, motorcycle culture continues to evolve. Some clubs have been around for decades, while new riding groups form every year with different goals and traditions. Some focus on touring, others on charity work, veterans, classic motorcycles, or simply weekend rides. The Windjammers remain part of that larger history, a reminder of a time when motorcycle clubs became more than riding organizations. They became communities built around shared passion, identity, and loyalty. Whether you're a rider or someone who's never thrown a leg over a motorcycle, it's fascinating to see how a simple love of riding could grow into an organization with their own customs, leadership, and culture. And that's what makes the story of the Windjammers worth remembering. Thanks for listening to the Stuff You Should Think About. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow the podcast, and we'll see you next time as we explore another question you may have never thought to ask, but probably should.